I hate gift giving and receiving.
Receiving gifts is so weird. What do you say, thank you?
This is Coffee Convos with Kail Lowry and Lindsie Chrisley.
I really want you to be in your feels, Kail.
That does not interest me whatsoever.
I feel very attacked by you.
A spirited discussion about motherhood, friendship, family, and life in the public eye.
I'm just not with the fakery anymore.
There's a fakery bakery around here.
Here's Kail and Lindsie.
Good morning, everyone.
Why do you sound like that?
I'm so frustrated. I'm just like between the whirlwind of sickness in this house and technical difficulties. I don't know which crotch goblin came into my office and took my mic adapter to my computer. Like, it's missing. I don't know if it was the cats. I don't know if it was the kids. Like, I'm so frustrated.
Could you imagine just like seeing your cats like dragging the cord through the house?
I find the craziest stuff in their litter boxes. Like, I found socks.
Wait, what?
Yes. Socks, do-rags, anything that, like, if there's like a nail on the floor, not a nail, like a screw or something, like from the kids' play set, I'll find those in the litter boxes. Like, it's so weird. It's so
Wait, how are you finding this stuff in the litter boxes?
I don't know. They drag it in.
Like, you're sifting through the shit?
No, it's just like sitting on top. Like when me and Isaac go to change the litter boxes, it'll be just like sitting on top.
Okay. This is no offense to anyone who has cats. We all know like generally how I feel about fucking cats. Growing up, if you ever went into someone's house, like back in the day, like in the 90s, I feel like you immediately knew there was a cat there because litter has such a distinct smell to me that you like know it's there, even if it's not like shitty litter.
I don't think it's the litter that stinks, actually. I think it's the piss, because I can smell cat piss any fucking where.
But like they pee on the litter?
Yeah, but like cat pee is such a distinct foul smell. I can't ever smell the actual litter. I think it's like all the cat pee in the litter.
Oh my God. Wait, okay, so this is another question, and then I'll literally fuck off about the cats. Do you have an automatic cleaner?
No, I did. I tried that when we first rescued the kittens, but the poop was runny at the time because they had just come from the shelter, and the runny poop stuck to the rake thing in the automatic litter box. So I was like, I'm not scraping poop off of this rake. Like, you got me chopped.
No, ma'am. Like, no. That is absolutely
foul.
So foul. A lot of people had sent messages when we started talking about your cats about getting like the automatic cleaner or whatever. And I was like, well, that's a vibe, because who really wants to use a pooper scooper? But like, how often do you have to do that?
I have Isaac scoop it every day, and then I change it once a week completely, and he changes it once a week. So it gets completely changed twice and then scooped every single day.
I'm going to ask this question to every single person. If you have cats, what is like the normal changing routine of the litter? Because I feel like Kail's is probably abnormal and like a super clean situation. I remember my best friend growing up, her mom was like kind of crunchy. Maybe that's like where I learned it from, but they had these fucking cats. And I would still want to go over there, even though like I didn't even like cats whenever I was growing up, but she had to scoop the poop once a week. And that might have been why like I hated cats, because I was like, you know what, that sounds like a terrible job that like I don't want to sign up for. My little wiener dog just goes outside, takes a dump, comes in, calls it a day.
Wow, once a week. That just doesn't feel, I mean, but maybe that works for them, I guess. I don't know. And then there's like this like rule of thumb, allegedly, I'm not a vet, but to have one more litter box than you have of cats. So like we have 3, so we should, even though I only have 2 litter boxes, maybe that's why I clean it so much. Technically, we should have 4 litter boxes.
That just seems like a lot of
it just
litter.
Seems, yeah, it's like overkill. So we have 2, but we scoop it every single day. One of us changes it on Sunday, one of us changes it on Wednesday or Thursday. So to me, it's just overkill to have 4. Also, I don't have locations to put 4.
That's a lot of litter, a lot of piss, and a lot of shit. And you also, is Creed still in diapers?
Yes.
Okay. And you also have diapers in the house. So like goodbye. Outside of that, hello, Coffee Convos podcast. Want to send the happiest new year to all of you guys. It has literally been a complete hell of a year.
One hell of a fucking year.
I thought the year before was like going to be worse, and I had such high hopes going into 2022. I had, methodically sent Will these text messages that like we no longer were going to be in our entanglement anymore if we didn't like have any plans outside of the entanglement. And like I really set myself up so good for 2022. I was not going to be dating anybody. I was just going to be doing my thing. And then I had that short little stint with Robbie, then the stint with Thomas, or as you guys know, Suburban Dad. 2022 really just turned into a complete shit show. But I do have a statistic, which is really cool. Kitty Gang added 56 million listens and counting in 2022.
A fucking men. Yes. Thank you so much. That's so fucking cool.
Literally could not be more grateful. I can't believe how much Coffee Convos has grown over the years. And it's always just so crazy to me when we turn the page to the next year and continue to have this kind of support. It feels so good. We have very much collectively as a team been working the latter part of this year, like end of November, the past couple of weeks, for everything that's coming in the new year, 2023. And I can't wait to make more memories. Hopefully, Kail, we get to go on 4 trips, more foul plays. Hopefully they're not our foul plays, and just want to say thank you guys so much for everything.
Yeah. 2022 put me on my ass. So I'm very, very optimistic for 2023. I'm also I did not know the statistic that you just read. So that's super cool. And I'm so grateful, as Lindsie said. Thanks to everyone who listens and follows all of our bullshit, and also just, I don't know, supports everything that, we've done and we've tried to do. Hopefully 2023 is great for everybody, not just us. I hope all of our listeners have the best 2023. Like, I hope nobody struggles this year.
I literally hope that as well. But the good news is that we have the Kitty Gang. We have not only Coffee Convos, but what I like to call our sister podcasts and sister families, that we'll get through the bullshit together. So that's positive.
Can I start with the questions that we have?
No, you can't.
No,
because
I can't. Okay.
We can't do that yet, because I have a question for you.
Oh my God, what?
Have you ever pegged your partner?
Pegged? What is that?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So pegging is when a woman wears a strap-on dildo.
No, I've never done that.
And penetrates her partner anally.
I don't.
So
it's too fucking early for this. No, I have never. Well, one of my partners. No, I've never put on a strap on, but one of my partners, wanted to do anal years ago. This was before I ever wanted to try it.
Okay.
And we were in the shower and I said, no, you do it first. Because at the time, like, I was very scared and buttholes are really tight. So if anyone here is listening has ever done anal, it hurts the first time, maybe the first several times. So I was very scared and I said, no, you do it first. And he was like, okay. So I held the toy and did it.
Wait, so it wasn't his dick that was doing it?
No. And it wasn't it wasn't strapped on, but I held it and I put it in his butt.
You put it in his butt?
Yeah. I said, if you want to put yours in mine, you got to see how it feels first.
Goodbye. Is this the point that I hang up?
This is the point where you're like, I'm no longer associating with Kail Lowry.
So wait, have you ever done butt stuff?
Not in depth butt stuff. No, I've tried anal, and then I've done a finger.
Okay.
I've never played with someone's butt.
Okay. I have never played with someone's butt. And frankly, if anybody asked me to play with their butthole, I would be like, for those reasons alone, that was my indicator that I'm getting up. Like,
Okay.
no, I'm never playing with someone's butthole. Not a thing. I really don't want anybody else playing with my butthole. Someone has put their finger in my butthole one time before.
Oh, did you like it?
No, I didn't like it. I just pretended like I did because I was like, okay, obviously he wants to be doing this. So cool for him. But
Right.
like, I just don't love that idea.
Mm-hmm.
I had butt sex one time.
And what were your thoughts? What was
I
your
was traumatized.
You're
I'm
traumatized.
still,
okay.
This was like, you guys are going to know who it was with when I say how long ago this was. This was back when I was like 21 years old, and I'm still traumatized at 33.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely not for everybody.
So can you tell me, would you ever put on a strap-on?
Yeah. Not, well,
Tell me more.
I would for a woman, not for a man.
Okay, this is something that I've actually always wondered. If you're with a woman and you are using a strap-on, like, is that a normal thing in that dynamic, or like, what are you normally doing?
Yeah. Well, it can be. It's just like, I think, some couples or, partners will use toys. Some won't. Yeah, I think not everyone would wear a strap on. Like, I wouldn't say like every, sexually fluid person or lesbian or whatever would necessarily wear a strap on.
You know what I just found out like not too long ago?
What?
It was so interesting to me that it's pretty normal, because I was doing some like market research of my own.
What made you go down this rabbit hole though?
What rabbit hole?
This sexual rabbit hole.
I just needed to know if you ever wore a strap on. It felt like something that I wanted to know, and I wanted all of the kitty gang to know about it if you did, and I wanted to call you out. But let me tell you about this market research that I did.
Okay.
And by research, I mean just asking my personal friends. It's pretty regular for couples to use toys in the bedroom.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's pretty regular.
Like, that would not be regular for me.
Okay, so
but like, I'm not opposed to it now.
Okay. I was gonna say, have you, like, would you? Okay, but yeah, no, I think it is pretty regular. I got the sex toy advent calendar, so
Wait, what?
Yeah, I got this like sex toy advent calendar. So every night you open the next day, like the night, and there's a new toy.
Wait, where do you get that?
I'll send you the link.
Okay, hit me up with that link, mommy. Okay, we're gonna get into the questions.
Okay, I'm ready. Okay, first question: single best thing that happened to you in 2022.
Single best thing that happened. Single best thing that happened to me was the Southern Tea won a podcast award.
Oh, that's awesome. Yep, that's a good one.
Felt good. Like when you feel like you start a business, and in that particular situation, I feel like there had been so much change from the time that I started it to now.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, wow, like I actually did something good, and I surprised myself.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's awesome. And now we can go for 2 next year.
Don't get silly.
Just saying. I was like, I want to double what I did, clear the list for Christmas. And I was like, next year I'm going to double it. So that's just like my mantra lately is like, I'll double it next year. I don't know.
See, and that terrifies me. Like when I said, okay, you need to answer the question, but also I need to say, when I set goals, I try to be like super realistic with them, not to like undersell myself, but also I'm not trying to like set them so high that they're unobtainable, if that makes sense.
Right. You want to make something that's achievable. No, that makes sense. Of course. Okay. So single best thing that happened to me this year, I would say completing my house. I finally was able to move into my house that I built. I spent a lot of money, time, effort, tears, and just having, what I'm going to call for now. I mean, it's the end of 2022. I'm going to call it my forever home, but we don't know for sure. for my kids. And I think that was a real, just like knowing I did this, I was able to do this. And the kids and I moved in seamlessly. I think that was the best thing that happened to me this year.
Honestly, big props to you, because I do feel like your move was rather, I don't want to say non-eventful, but like non-eventful in comparison to your other moves.
Yes. Even Kristen commended me on staying cool, calm, and collected for the entire build. Like I never got up, like I never cried about something. I never got mad about something. I never like flipped out or got frustrated. Like this whole house and building it, Kristen would be like, you're remaining surprisingly calm. And I would be like, yeah, I mean, there's nothing I can do about it kind of thing. And so I tried to stay calm the whole process. And then the move was pretty seamless. It was pretty good.
I will say, when you move into a house like my current house, it took me a little while to feel settled here because it wasn't what I was used to or normal,
Right.
but it became my normal over time. And there's like such a great feeling when you just feel like your heart is at ease and you just feel settled and okay.
Like peace of mind, just knowing that things are okay and they feel stable. Like obviously there's still going to be bumps in the road. There's still going to be life happening all around us, but like it feels like a solid ground almost, just like moving into this house. And I'm sure for you too.
Can you believe that like either of us can say that?
No, it just feels so crazy.
Kind of interesting. Okay, second question. Most challenging thing that happened this year?
Me or you?
I have 3
Okay,
that I can think of off the top of my head. The first one, I'm going to say co-parenting over this last year has been extreme hell, very stressful. I think a lot of it has to do with not just figuring out being outside of that relationship and the dynamic changing, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that I never had to really share Jackson before. And so kind of relinquishing some of the control. And ultimately it does boil down to having some level of control. That has been super challenging, but I do feel ending the year that I'm in such a better place than where I was whenever I started the year co-parenting. So that feels really good. Obviously the stuff with my parents, the trial this year, also their sentencing, and also the changes that are coming in the new year for my family. That was a year challenge, multiple year challenge before that. And now our challenges are just going to look different moving into the new year. And then also being in a relationship that I thought was going to be super fruitful and thought my life was heading in one direction, and then feel kind of like the rug was pulled out from under me. And that's like the worst. I say this all the time, like not that death or experiences that you have, it makes it any easier that you can predict it versus it being like a non-predictable thing. But
yeah.
To me, it is I completely like did not predict that what happened was going to happen. And so I think because it took me by surprise, that it has been super challenging for me to be able to cope with that entire situation.
Yeah, I was going to say it almost feels more challenging than it would have been because it took you by surprise. It's not like something that was like looming over for a long time, or you had an inkling when you started that, you know what I mean? So it probably ended up being more challenging than maybe it could have been.
For sure. What about you?
I definitely think making the decision to get on medication for my mental health was a big challenge for me. But I knew with everything everything that happened in the beginning of the year, everything just, again, it just smacked me in the face, put me on my ass. And I was just having really, really, really dark thoughts very suicidal, things like that. And so Natalie, eventually called my doctor and was like, we got to get her on meds. So I think that was the most challenging thing, was one, recognizing that it was to the point where I needed the meds, and then accepting the fact that I would be on them for, the foreseeable future. So now I'm so happy that I got on them, but the time and getting on them and taking the time to balance everything out. And then the first meds didn't work. It was a really big challenge for me.
I will say, I think that you're in such a better place mental health wise now than you were at the beginning of this year. And that is so hard when you go through things that you feel like, okay, I know that I need to make the change and I want to help myself, but then being in a depressed state, not knowing really how to help yourself, surrendering to the fact that, okay, I can help myself by getting on this medication, but I'm not sold on being on medication. And then you do it. And then you go through the challenges of the early phases of being on medication, which you've talked about, and then being where you are now. I mean, it is really like a night and day difference.
It just felt like it was, like I felt defeated, because once I finally, I finally accepted that I would go on meds and I was going to be taking these essentially they're drugs, taking these new drugs / medication, and then them not working for the first several weeks. It was like this, I feel like I'm never going to get better. Like I finally accepted the help and I'm still never going to get better, but I'm so glad that I made the change, from the first one to the second one. And I just hung in there because it was not looking good for me.
Can you tell me, I keep seeing ads pop up and I'm like not familiar with medication world really at all, but I keep seeing ads pop up and it's like Lexapro for her. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen that.
I'll have to do some more digging because I've been meaning to ask you about it. And I was like, whoa, weird. Is that like a different thing than like the normal one that Kail's on? Or is this just like targeted ad for women? Like I had no idea, but I saw that.
I've never heard. Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. Pick 3 words to describe this past year.
You go first. Do you have them in mind? Okay, go. You go first.
Toxic. That has been in every part of my existence of 2022. Growth and security.
Oh, okay. Why security?
I actually talked about it with my therapist today, that through all of the toxicity that transpired over 2022, I feel like I'm in the best place that I have been in a very long time. And I think it's because I am secure in the place that I am at. Like all the things that need to be figured out, I feel like have been figured out, and everything that doesn't have an expiration or is urgent, I have become comfortable knowing that it's okay if I don't have answers for those things. Like I have food on the table and I have a home and I have my family and Jackson, all of that stuff is figured out. But like, I don't have to figure out a relationship tomorrow or today.
Right. You have time. Like there's power at the pause.
There is.
That's my favorite saying of 2022. 3 words to describe this year: chaotic, challenging.
That's every year.
Yeah. This one more than others though. So chaotic, challenging. And I think the third one I would say is resilient, because I have been able to kind of pick myself up off the floor, in a lot of different aspects this year. I also had the lawsuit, which was more of a pain in the ass than anything. And just dealing with, baby daddies essentially challenging me, for lack of better words. And just the dynamic with, the ops, my baby dad's befriending the ops it was very challenging.
I cannot.
I'm serious. It really affected our co-parenting. It affected our dynamic as co-parents. Like, it was just like, it didn't need to happen. It should have never happened. So, and I would say I was resilient all year. I made it happen. I adapted. I moved forward. I pushed through. So, I mean, I'm giving myself props for that.
I think that's growth too, though, right? Like
Yeah.
through the struggle, you grow. And I feel like would I choose all of the things that have happened over time? Absolutely not. Sorry if you guys hear that. That's my dishwasher. Through all of the bad stuff, I would not choose all of that to happen. It's not like I'm going to a tree and like cherry picking and being like, give me that toxic situation and like picking all of those things. But at the same time, I don't know if I would be where I am today if I didn't have those situations and all of those hard things caused me to grow.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that. I definitely would agree with that. I wouldn't wish what I have gone through in 2023 on anyone, between the trials, the lawsuits, the baby daddy drama, and mental health issues. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, but everything that I've taken away from it has been helpful for me now, and I would hope that will be helpful in the future.
Absolutely.
So with the crazy holiday season well underway, ready-to-eat meal deliver can lend you a helping hand. Factor shops, preps, cooks, and delivers to your door so that you can enjoy chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals during the holidays, minus all the hassle. So plus with 34 meals per week, including Gourmet Plus, you can do keto, calorie smart, vegan, veggie, and probably more than 36 weekly add-ons. You'll have plenty of nutritious, flavorful options to choose from. I love this because I do not have time to cook and sit here and meal plan and go grocery shopping and do all the things with all the kids I have. So, my holiday season is crazy, and luckily Factor's fresh, never frozen meals make it quick to fuel up and kind of get something that everybody loves. So you guys need to try this. And Factor is cheaper than dining out and takeout, so you can put the money you save towards holiday fun and you time, which is definitely what I'm doing this season. And thanks to Factor's commitment to ingredients with integrity, you can actually enjoy flavorful chef-crafted meals guilt-free. Their creamy Parmesan chicken and 3-bean vegan chili are amazing. They're literally to die for. So if you need a special occasion meal, they also have that with their Gourmet Plus. It's the perfect solution if you're looking for fast upscale options. Head to go.factor75.com/coffeeconvos60 and use code coffeeconvos60 to get 60% off your first box. That's code coffeeconvos60 at go.factor75.com/coffeeconvos60 to get 60% off your first box.
I'm Lola Blanc.
And I'm Megan Elizabeth.
And we're the hosts of Trust Me, the podcast about cults, extreme belief, and the abuse of power.
Now on Podcast 1.
We're real-life cult survivors.
And we're here to tell you anyone can join a cult.
If you've ever dived headfirst into a new self-help program,
or believed wholeheartedly in a spiritual practice,
or even just trusted someone with your life,
guess what? You're just as susceptible as everyone else.
No one is safe, especially not Megan.
I'm the most susceptible.
We want to debunk the myth that people who join cults are uneducated or naive or broken, because anyone can be manipulated by a narcissist or feel good in a new group they've joined.
And we should know we both have been.
Join us every week as we explore the world of extreme belief,
talk to survivors and experts,
and share our own experiences with cults and the abuse of power.
Don't be fooled. You might be next.
Get new episodes of Trust Me every Wednesday on Podcast One, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere you get your podcasts.
Okay, biggest thing that you have learned this past year?
Just because my baby daddies email me, even though we are email only, doesn't mean that I need to respond to it.
Wait, back up.
When we
back up.
Yeah.
Are we like all baby daddies are on email only?
No, Joe's not, because he's the least problematic.
Okay.
But the other ones, I was basically like, oh, it's email only. And in the beginning of the year, I took that as, if they email me, I have to respond. But that's just as toxic as the text messages, the phone calls, the whatever else. And so I got to a place in therapy where it was like, if someone is cussing me out via email, one, if it's not you're not respectfully approaching me with something, or you're just bitching, I don't need to respond just because it's in an email format. Like, at the end of the day, there is power in the fucking pause. Like, when I tell you I related to that statement all year, I can't stress that enough. I even would tell Kristen, like, hey, mark that as read, because I'm not going to reply.
Honey,
honey.
Let me tell you, email did not work for my co-parenting situation. If Kristen wasn't in producer mode, she could speak on my behalf. That just pissed Will Campbell off more than actually what I was requesting.
Okay. Yeah. And for some people, I think that makes sense. Like, I would be pissed too.
And he's like, why are we emailing? Like, this like literally doesn't make any sense. But now that we've got off on this tangent, I had talked about on the Southern Tea with Kristen about co-parenting and other people being involved. And basically we were talking about like my breakup and have things gotten better since Suburban Dad's not in the picture. And I needed to ask you this question because I'm interested to know if it's more of like a universal thing with everyone who is co-parenting. Do you find it easier to co-parent when the person you're co-parenting with is not in a relationship and you're not in one?
Yes. Yes. It's way easier.
And the way I explained it was that essentially you're not having to think of a third party when you're doing this co-parenting,
Right.
and the boundaries that you have in place when you're with a partner look different. And it has nothing to do sexually. It's just maybe there's like a loosening of boundaries when you're not having to think of another person.
I have a situation where the person is just nasty to me because he thinks those are boundaries. Like, but there's a difference between boundaries and just being a fucking asshole. And I don't know if it's intentional so that, you know, I don't talk to the partner. I don't know if it's intentional because he feels that's the only way that he'll keep his actual boundaries, like the actual boundaries. And he, you know, I think he thinks of her more than he should in terms of our co-parenting. Just because you don't have to be you don't have to be an asshole. Like I don't want to sleep with you. Yeah, it's way harder.
Goodbye.
I'm being honest.
Kail.
You're asking. I'm being honest. I'm just saying.
We're going to get cussed out in the new year. Like literally you've signed us up to get cussed out. The biggest thing that I've learned this year, and it's going to be probably mind blowing, and the fact that I just learned this in 2022 is also an alarming fact. Change is okay.
Change is okay. Yeah.
Evolving is okay. I think that I get so stuck, or in the past have been so stuck in it's supposed to be this way. And if it veers just a little bit from that way, I can't cope. But I'm just kind of accepting things at this point for what they are, for face value, and knowing that we're all human, we're all evolving. Hopefully we are, and all growing, and change is going to happen, and that's okay. And I can adjust.
Right. That's a good one. I agree.
What do you want to do more of in 2023?
I want to, this is going to sound so corny, but it's been working for me the last couple of weeks. I want to be nicer to myself, because these last couple of weeks of this year, I've been really nice to myself, and it's like, it's okay. I'm giving myself grace essentially. And I feel like by doing that, even my internal monologue, like talking to myself, I'm being way nicer to myself. And I actually think it's working in terms of like, you speak things into existence. And so I want more of that in 2023. Not just for me, but for the people around me. Like I want them to be nicer to themselves. I want us to be happy. I think it's true when they say like your 30s really are better than your 20s, because even though my first year was shit, I give a fuck less about what other people are doing, what other people are thinking, what other people are saying, and I'm being nicer to myself. And at the end of the day, I have to live with myself more than anybody else. So I want more of that. I want more like positive affirmations, being nice to each other, being nice to ourselves, like just really taking care of that.
I can agree with every single part of everything that you just said. I feel like being nicer to yourself breeds a more positive environment because the way that you're looking at things is positive. When you're ugly to yourself and you're just being negative to yourself all the time, your existence is likely going to be negative. That is that is also something that I want to do more of. It took almost the entire 2022 for me to work out all of my, let's call them business ventures. Not going to get into all of them, but it took pretty much all year for me to get to the place that I am now. And I feel at such a place of peace with like the organization and going into the new year, knowing that I can focus on Jackson, myself, and my work, and really invest my time in things that I want to invest my time in to make myself happy instead of investing my time in things that are stressing me out.
Right. I agree. It's just so weird. Like at the end of the year, we're like reflecting on all this. Like, are we adults or what are we?
What do you want to do less of in 2023?
Less of in 2023. I want to apologize less. I feel like everything is like, hey, I'm sorry, I can't make it. No, I'm not sorry. Life popped up. Hey, like this morning I had to cancel. I was supposed to go on a walk with Bone. And I was like, listen, I am exhausted. Creed's been sick. And I don't need to explain myself. If she's my friend, she's going to understand, hey, you can't make it. That's it. I'm not sorry that life happens. You know what I mean?
Oh, I totally agree with that. And you know what? That's a really good plan, because I feel like a lot of times, I was talking to one of my girlfriends about this the other night, that your real friends are going to understand why you can't do something. People who get upset about that kind of stuff, then they need to figure their stuff out, because if they're not coming from a place of understanding, you probably don't need to be around them anyway. And when you have kids and you have life obligations and you're tired and possibly stressed, or you just really don't feel like doing it anymore after you committed to it, it's okay. And it's okay to be honest about that.
Right. I agree with you. I definitely agree with that.
What I want to do less of in 2023 is spending my time and giving my time to areas that are not fruitful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So just like being intentional and maybe cautious a little bit about where you're going to give your time and what you're going to spend your time doing.
Absolutely. What are you looking forward to for Coffee Convos in 2023?
Well, right in the beginning of the year, we have a trip to LA, and I'm not going to say what it's for just yet, but I'm very, very excited and optimistic about what is in store for us while we're there.
I am also excited about that for a couple of reasons. One, I get to see your face in person.
Yes.
Two, I don't love LA, but like I also don't hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I have like a love-hate with Los Angeles. I think it's a great little vibe for a couple of days, and then you get to come home. And I love In-N-Out and like doing all the LA things. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited for hopefully 4 trips that we get to be together throughout the year. That makes me excited. I generally or genuinely love creating content. I know that Kail, like by the time we're done with those trips, you're like, Lindsie, literally fuck, not just halfway off, but like the whole way.
Fuck all the way off.
But like, I'm so excited about it because we have plans to like do so many things, and like TikTok, you're not going to slow us down. Like we're coming for you.
Yes, immediately. Yes, I agree with that.
But what was our word for last year?
I think mine was health, and I think yours was health too.
I think, yeah, it was both health.
Yeah.
My word this year.
You have it already?
Yeah.
Oh, what is it?
Peace.
Ah, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I feel like that's kind of yours.
Yeah, and you know what? I might have to take it. Like that's really peace of mind, peace of home, peace of all things. Like I love that. I think I'm gonna steal it.
I would love to know what everybody else's words are as well. I love hearing other people's words for the year. Okay, who is on your prank list for 2023? First of all, I'm not telling you guys because I feel like that ruins the surprise. But I do have two lineups of pranks for 2023.
I need to prank my kids in real life. And then if we're talking like podcast pranks, Well, I can't say who I would prank on the podcast. So
I have two very good ones that people would absolutely love these. And also, just call me Ashton Kutcher. Okay.
okay.
We have a couple of New Year's fails and I want to get into them.
All right, let's do it. 1. I was on the hunt for my ex so we could leave together. Per my mastermind plan, I walked in on him getting a BJ from some random girl in the bathroom. Cue full public meltdown.
Wait, do we know the person that wrote in?
You took the words right out of my fucking mouth. You just took right out of my head. Right out of my fucking head.
We're going to hell.
I'm going now. Fuck.
Wait,
Okay.
do we know? Did they write this in?
They had to have. They had to have.
Okay, we know someone that this happened to. First of all, if he's getting a BJ from some random girl in the bathroom, you need to leave him with said random girl. Because absolutely not.
Yeah, just leave him. Like at that point, I would like literally walk out and just leave him with the girl.
Ma'am, if he is at the point that he is so brazen that he is not only going to cheat on you, but he is going to cheat on you while you guys are at the same place.
Foul. So fucking foul. You're not coming back from that one, homeboy.
No, I think we can move on because we have truly said enough about that situation that, again, cussed out in 2023.
Okay. Apologies if this is TMI. I was about 6 months pregnant and my belly had just popped, so I literally couldn't see anything beneath it. New Year's Eve rolled around, and after using the bathroom, I wiped and saw blood. I absolutely freaked out and thought I was spotting, so I went to the hospital. Again, it's New Year's Eve, 11 p.m. I literally saw fireworks from the hospital bed. Well, it turned out I cut myself shaving my hoo-ha. I couldn't feel any pain from it, as it was very minor, but also couldn't see the cut either. The nurses were nice and reassuring, but I was beyond embarrassed. I feel like down there is a bleed. They're like, your vagina is a bleeder, like your head. Like it just never stops. And so it could be like the littlest nick and you're just gushing blood.
Wait, I have something kind of funny to say. It's about this, but like not about this. So when my sister and I started shaving our cats, Julie was like, well, like how y'all are bald. Like how do y'all get in there? And it's like, literally, bitch, are you gonna make me pull my lips apart and show you like which way I move the razor to show you? And she's like, you're gonna cut your lips off.
I need tips. So yes, I need you to show. You don't have to show me yours, just show me the razor and the positioning, because that's why I squat down the way I do, which I never uploaded pictures. And it's just so hard to get in those crevices.
Which crevice?
Like the I think it's called labia major and labia minor. Is that what they're called?
Just like inside the coochie lip?
Like the outside lip with the inside lip.
Oh, that's so easy.
Well,
see, that's exactly the part that she was asking me how we got up in there.
Yeah, I can't get up in there. I always leave like a few strays and then they're long as hell and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Goodbye. Isn't that the worst thing ever?
It's horrible.
When you have done like a great shave job and then you see like one hair.
Yeah, and you're like, what the fuck? I hate when I do it to my legs too. Like if I just missed an entire strip of hair and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, it's the worst. Mm-hmm. But I do want to comment on this person because I feel like that this probably has happened more than this person even realizes.
Yeah.
I didn't get that big with Jackson, so I could still see everything, but I also didn't shave in the shower once I kind of like got that far along in pregnancy. I would like lay down in the bath and kind of shave my kitty, but also I've been shaving that thing for so long that I feel like I just like know which way to move
to go. Well,
the razor.
When I was pregnant with, I don't know if it was Lux or Creed, Bone's sister just shaved me for me. Like I was just wide open and she just shaved me.
See, I've heard a lot of people saying that their husbands or significant other like shaved them when they were pregnant. First of all, Will Campbell was not coming near me with a razor. Absolutely not. Like cannot be trusted. I've never cut myself down there to know like how bad it would bleed.
Oh, they're bleeders. At least mine is. I mean, I could see why she went to the hospital because they can be bleeders. Yeah.
Okay. Next.
All right. Number 3. I had a huge crush. Oh, this is a long one. I had a huge crush on a friend in college. We'll call him Rob.
I would always confide in my best friend about Rob. We'll call my best friend Jess. Jess never met Rob. She just heard about him through me. I
know where this is going.
I'm not. You know where this is going? They know each other, don't they?
That's what I think.
Oh no. I was very anxious when they first met if they got along. They got along fantastically, all right. I would still talk to Jess about Rob on a daily basis because I was too shy to do anything with Rob, so Jess was my outlet. Fast forward to my birthday, we had a house party with my college friends. Both Rob and Jess were there. We go to a club, and for the majority of it, I couldn't find either Rob or Jess. I later found out Jess was very drunk, so Rob took her home. Fast forward a month later to NYE. A mutual friend of all of ours is having a New Year's party. Everyone decides to go to the clubs. I decide I'm not gonna because I didn't like clubbing too much. Rob says he'll stay behind. Fantastic. Some alone time with Rob around New Year's, maybe even a New Year's kiss. She didn't even finish the word kiss. Jess says she doesn't feel like going either. What? Okay, fine. Half an hour later, everyone but the three of us are gone. We're hanging out watching a movie. I excuse myself to go to the bathroom. I come back to find Rob and Jess practically having sex. I go to the house owner's room and cry through the countdown. Jess apologized to me days later after realizing I had caught them when I was ignoring her phone calls and stopped hanging out with both of them. I forgave her eventually when she explained that she ended up having a huge crush on Rob since I introduced them, and things just sort of happened on New Year's Eve. Later next year, they celebrated their first anniversary on not New Year's Eve. No, my fucking birthday. That night, Jess was, quote, sick.
Okay, so Jess is a bad friend.
Jess is a horrible friend.
Because the fact that she just got a crush on Rob, who's not even fucking Rob, but like the fact that she just got a crush on him knowing that she was being introduced to this guy because her friend wanted to date him, that's just a horrible friend. Like,
that's horrible.
I don't fuck with Jess. And also,
go ahead.
Like, this whole entire situation is just weird and trifling.
Well, so this kind of happened to me before. I was talking to this girl and we all went out. It was like a bunch of us went out and we had left the bar or whatever. And like, I don't drink really, so I didn't get drunk or anything. So I'm sitting in my own truck and the girl that I was talking to, her friend was driving. Tell me why one of the guy friends that I was with started making up with the girl I was talking to in the car while I'm in the vehicle. Like, I'm in the vehicle with them, but I don't know if they thought I was sleeping. I don't know what they thought. She denied it. She will deny it to this day, but he won't. He doesn't deny it. He laughs about it. And I'm like,
are you still pissed?
I mean, I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little salty, but like, I don't hold it against them. Like, I'm like, whatever. I act like it didn't happen. So yeah, needless to say, I stopped talking to her, but yeah.
I just think situations like that are so trifling. And also, like, I don't know how old these people were when this Jess and Rob situation was going on, but like, me at my age, I'm not being involved in something like this. Oh, I guess they're in college, but like, still, I'm not going to be involved in something like this.
No, that is so shady. I hope she's never been friends with Jess again.
I hope so too. And like, I would just be petty spaghetti. Let's be honest.
Okay. You read the next one.
Okay. I am female, 25, gave birth to my daughter weeks ago. My experience was pretty traumatic. And since it was my first, I had no clue what to expect. Oh, bless your heart. Forgive me for the vague details for privacy, but I'll mention all relevant stuff, I promise. When I went into labor, I had the most difficult time of my life. I was in pain for hours. My mom was with me, but she had to go, and my husband was with me the entire time. I did something so embarrassing in the delivery room. I pooped myself, which was unexpected, and just, I don't know, but it was embarrassing. And although my medical team were very professional about it, my husband couldn't help himself and started laughing about it later and even telling my family about it, but they didn't react. I didn't find it funny and just didn't find it funny, and neither did I. In fact, I found it embarrassing, and I already told him to stop bringing it up, especially when he started joking about getting me diapers for my oopsies. It got really tiring and chipped away from my self-esteem and confidence. Bless her heart.
Oh.
We were with his parents celebrating New Year's Eve together when I excused myself to the bathroom. While I was getting up, he made a quick remark and said, "Oh yeah, you should just go quickly because we don't want any accidents, just like the one you had at the hospital. You know what I mean?" While blinking at me. His family actually laughed, and my brother-in-law commented, "Good one." I was astonished and so angry and ashamed. I literally just lost it on him, yelled at the top of my lungs, calling him cruel and sensitive jerk to be using the difficult experience of birthing his child as a joking matter and humiliating me in front of everyone. He was shocked, staring back at me, and said not a word. All were silent, and I just stormed off to the bathroom till we left. And that was when he snapped, saying I messed up by talking to him like that in front of his family during dinner. I said I couldn't hold my tongue for that long after he kept joking about it, an embarrassing thing when I told him to stop. He said that he was just joking, and I went overboard on my reaction. And also, I should have sucked it up and waited until we got home so that we could address it privately, and I could even yell at him as long as I wanted. We argued about it after we got home, and he kept saying I humiliated him in front of his family during a celebratory evening by being petty and trying to one-up him. He even said I should have laughed along, not fly off the handle like that. Did I overreact? Wow.
I mean, I can speak from toxic Kail and I can speak from Kail now. I completely understand her. I understand her reaction in flipping out. I think that could it have been handled better? Yes. I mean, she could have waited, but ultimately when you're to the point where you've asked several times to stop, humiliating me, that's a really embarrassing thing for a lot of people. And if it was me, I probably would have also flipped out. I mean, she's 25 for Christ's sake, and she's asked you to stop. So to me, I would say at that point, he deserved it, but also two wrongs don't make a right. And so if she's humiliated and now he's humiliated, it doesn't really, now it's like, how do you repair this and go back for another dinner or whatever? And so I understand both sides. That's horrible. I would be so embarrassed as well.
The problem is that it's with his family. So they're obviously going to likely side with him. Mm-hmm. And so now she's the one that has to be humiliated, not only for pooping herself during labor, but then also being humiliated for giving that type of reaction. Mm-hmm. I will say before therapy, me would probably have blown up on him in front of everybody as well. Mm-hmm. Now I'm kind of like a simple, "Are you done?" would have probably sufficed. Also, I feel like it's so disrespectful, the mother of your child, and you're sitting there, talking about how she pooped during labor, when I feel like that's a very common thing. Like, I didn't do it, and I specifically asked if I did because I wanted to know, but I do think it's a rather common thing.
I shit for all of mine. So
you did?
I think so. I believe so.
Yeah, I think it's a very common thing. I don't know that I would be embarrassed if anybody knew that I did, because again, I think it's a common thing. But at the same time, I'm not her. I had actually talked about Yellowstone and situations kind of like this, and how Beth and Rip, how he handles things with her privately and just like lets her do whatever publicly. And I think that is the best way to handle things as an adult. Like, someone doesn't do something that you like, then you can address that privately, not publicly in front of everyone.
Right. But also we have to remind ourselves that she is only 25. She just had a child, whether it's months or years. I mean, we don't know if she's ever been to therapy or anything and knows how to cope with those situations. And also, this is when we talk about like BetterHelp and therapy and stuff, like, it can help you get through these things before they happen. You know what I mean? Or how to cope with something like this. So I'm giving her a pass on this because she's 25. She just had a kid and she's been humiliated time and time again. So I'm going to give her some grace. And I don't think that she overreacted. But moving forward, if you're asking yourself that, maybe that is a sign for you that next time you'll address it privately. So, but I'm giving her a pass.
Also, last thing I want to say on this is that when someone tells you not to do something and you say, "Hey, can you please not do that anymore?" that should be enough to another adult to realize that you've tried to address the issue by telling them not to do something because you didn't like it, whether they feel it's valid or not. It's valid enough for you to ask them to stop. So listen to the warning and don't continue doing what you were doing that upset the person enough to ask you to stop.
Then I try to work on that with my kids at their ages now, because I don't want them to ever be an adult and they're
messing around with someone or joking around and they take things too far over and over again. When someone says no or someone says stop the first time, that you need to listen. It can be about anything, like, you know, physical touch, jokes, any of that. Like, just respect the people around you. If they don't want something, they don't want it, period.
Absolutely. Okay, let's do foul play.
Okay. All right. Hey, ladies, my New Year's Eve foul play is quick and funny. So my ladies single NYE 2011, I went out with my girlfriends, and as you can expect, it was a mob scene at the bars. Didn't stop my girls and I from having a good time. And while we were out, I had ran into this guy I had gone out with a couple times, and he had bought me a couple drinks and asked if I wanted to come back to his place for a nightcap. I hadn't been to his place before, but I was comfortable enough as we had gone out a couple times. So we get back to his place and he makes me a drink and asks if I want to smoke, whatever goes in your 20s. So we're watching Jersey Shore and he says to me, wow, this show is giving me a chub. You want to go upstairs? A chub? Is that like another name for a boner?
Yeah, like
A chub.
like not flaccid, but like a semi. Like, haven't you just heard like I have a chub?
No, I have a chub. What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's so funny. Okay, you want to go upstairs? I promptly replied, no thanks, I'll call a cab. And that's how I ended up coming home at 7 a.m. on New Year's, because I had to wait hours outside of his house for a cab because I was so uncomfortable after that comment. I told him I was on his way. After that comment, I told him it was on his way and he went to bed. Happy holidays, ladies. Thanks for always making me laugh. Oh my God. So she was like, absolutely the fuck not. And I would have said absolutely the fuck not and continued to sit my ass right in his house until that cab came. That sucks.
Two things. Kail has now learned what a chub is. Love that for you.
We need to take a poll to see if anyone else has ever heard the word chub.
Like, I mean, haven't you ever like walked past your husband in the kitchen and been like, it's like morning time and they're not flaccid, but like they're not
What
hard.
The fuck is flaccid?
You know, just like limp,
Soft?
just like a soft ween. And then they're like in the kitchen and you're like, just kind of grab their dick like as you're walking by and you're like, oh, like you've got a chub.
You've got a chub.
Haven't you heard of it? What?
No. Is this like slang or is this like a known term?
I feel like everybody knows it until now. I realize that
can you hear
everybody
me?
doesn't. And I also want to say, like, why did he get a chub watching Jersey Shore?
Kristen, have you heard? I know you're on producer mode, but have you heard the word chub? Wait, Lindsie, you're so right. Why the fuck is he getting a chub on Jersey Shore? That's really weird.
Yeah, like, what about Gym Tan Laundry, like, made him, like,
Maybe
start getting hard?
Gym Tan chub?
Gym Tan chub. Also, I would have waited my ass in his place and been like, sir, do not touch me, because at this point, I feel like you possibly have a weird fetish. Please go watch Jersey Shore somewhere else. I'm going to sit here until the cab picks me up. Thank you.
I can't. I cannot. All right, read the next one.
New Year's Eve, had a blast, got super wasted, had about 10 shots. First of all, I'm dead at this point. Faintly remember sleeping with someone. First off, I'm also dead at this point. Woke up the next morning to a blood bath.
Oh my God.
We had sex and I got my period all over the mattress in the bed that was not his.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, this is so bad. I was not attracted to this guy at all. In the morning, he asked if we could have sex and if I could mother a baby for him.
Oh, he was still drunk. Had to be. What the fuck?
Very odd, and I got out very quickly. I was known as the period chick for about 2 months.
Damn.
First of all,
we're all adults here. Why are we doing that to girls? Like, why are we doing that to women?
First of all, you know that women have periods, so why are you out here talking shit? That's first of all. Secondly, I'm going to talk shit about you because the fact that you had sex with me one time and I don't even remember it, and I have now bled all over a mattress that is also not yours, and you are so psychotic that your first thought is, will you mother a baby for me?
Yeah, he's the one that should have been known as like psycho or something for the next 2 months. Like
Psycho dude.
Yeah, literally. Like, what the fuck?
I'm scared. Like, first of all, I was scared for her at the point of 10 shots in the story. And then the fact that she faintly remembers sleeping with someone. Well, you know why she faintly remembers? Because she lost all memory at like shot 4.
Well, I need to know who her friends are because that's a little concerning.
I'm scared.
Like,
okay, next.
I don't know that I would let my friends go home with, like, I don't know. I just, we look out for everybody. It's the buddy rule. Okay. 3 years ago, my friends and I rented a 2-bedroom condo in Ocean City for NYE. My husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, and I got one of the bedrooms with a connecting bathroom. Before going out, we pre-gamed hard like typical 23-year-olds and then went to one of the more touristy bars for that night. We had the time of our lives. Myself, a little too much. When we got back to the condo, I drunk ordered pizza, but was so drunk I passed out in the bed before it got there. In the middle of the night, I got up to pee. I distinctly remember that I walked into the bathroom, lifted the seat, did my business, wiped, and stumbled back to the bed. The following day, I woke up and found my boyfriend/husband was not in bed with me. I look around the room and see a giant wad of toilet paper on the floor next to the bathroom. My initial thought was he threw up and didn't make it to the bathroom, so I'm irritated on top of being hungover. I go into the living room to find my guy asleep on the floor. When I wake him up to ask what happened in the bedroom, he said, "You pissed on the floor." I swear to him I didn't, and he recounts watching me get out of bed, walk over to the wall next to the bathroom, act like I was lifting a toilet seat, then squat against the wall and pee. He said the whole time he was calling my name and trying to wake me up, but I didn't respond to him. He went and woke up one of my friends, and together they attempted to clean it up, but the condo didn't have cleaning supplies, so they just threw toilet paper on it. I was so mortified I wouldn't even go to breakfast with everyone. It's not a joke I don't know if she meant now or not, but it says it's not a joke amongst our friends, and I'm happy to say this was the first and last time I drunk peed, not in the toilet. When I heard the original drunk pee story, I died because it made me think of this. Then Kristen started asking for NYE/day stories to write in. I love you girls and the podcast.
Okay, this is why I think whatever happens to the brain for people who drunk pee places, I don't know if it's a specific thing that they're drinking or if this is just like something chemically that happens in the brain that causes people to think that they're sitting on toilets when they're really like up against walls, pissing in corners. This is so similar to what happened to my college spring break story with that girl. And when I tell you, she legitimately thought she was on a toilet. Like, I'm not even kidding.
It's weird how that happens. Like, I've never really been, I've only been drunk like a couple of times, and I'm not a drinker. So I don't know how that happens. Like, how do you lift up a toilet seat that's non-existent?
It's in her brain. Like here's what I think happens. I think that when you're in like an altered state, you think possibly, and I think that this probably is true for like drunk driving, is when you think that you're doing something that you're legitimately not, or like you think you're doing something well that like you're really not.
Right.
And so it's probably just from memory that she knew she needed to go to the bathroom, and those would be the things that she would do to go to the bathroom in a normal state.
That's so crazy.
But like she's really in a corner on a wall pissing. Like I've heard stories of people like literally peeing and like walking to corners and like peeing in their house drunk.
That's so crazy. That is so wild to me. And I don't know, alcohol will do wild things to you.
My friend told me the other night that her brother came to her house one time when they were in college and her apartment, peed on her couch cushion. And she was like, no, like you're absolutely going to clean this up. And he was like so committed that it was water, but like really like he peed on it.
What?
Yeah. Like it's a real thing that this happens like all the freaking time.
My mom is and was a bad alcoholic. I mean, to the point where she would black out, and I've cleaned up a lot of vomit in my lifetime, but I've not cleaned up a lot of pee. My mom never peed her pants.
Thank God, Susie. Like, I'm glad that you held that part together.
Thank you for holding that bodily fluid inside your body.
We love that for you. Thank you guys so much for listening to our bullshit this past year. Can't wait to celebrate all new things coming in 2023. If you guys have not subscribed to the show, make sure you do that by searching the Purple Podcast app. Click subscribe, click the 5th star, and leave us a written review. You can also find us on Spotify, pretty much any other podcast app that you're listening from, and always first at Podcast One. We hope that you guys have a fantastic New Year's, and we will talk to you soon.
See ya.